Okay, here's my first arcade machine cabinet build. It's turned out pretty well. I got the measurements and everything from my existing cabinet. This one has a few improvements. Of course, we have that's the inside floor of the cabinet. The sheet metal is going to be for my controller board. I'm going to bend it around and drill the holes. I don't know if you can see that, but I have my player 1 button, player 2 button, the joystick, the 3 fire buttons, and then the trackball. Of course, the light is going to go on the top, and I bought a light for it to put inside. It's this guy right here. And then we got the vent, which is going to go on the top. So that goes there. And I have it marked. Right now everything is temporarily put together here. So I just got some brad nails just holding it in place. But as you can see, I still have some minor cutting to do. I got to cut out this vent hole, the vent on the top, and then unlike the arcade machine that's downstairs, I'm going to cut a door out here. Whereas the one downstairs, you have to take off the entire back. So I'm going to hinge it, which I have the hinge there. These two poles here go on the inside for bracing in the back corners there. As you can see in the top, I have the braces already in place, and they're just held in place with brad nails, So yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, my first build of arcade machine. And what I'm going to do is actually thinking about getting some adhesive art, like the wall art type thing, with my own picture, and send it in to Kinko's or Staples or one of those guys and have them printed out on some adhesive paper. But you see, it's turning out fairly decent. Almost done. Just got to paint it. Of course, my paint it all black. I did order some T-molding from Amazon. So I'm just waiting for my T-molding to come in. It's green. It's almost like a neon green T-molding that I'm going to put around it. So hopefully once I'm done, it will look pretty professionally built. We'll see. Right? Well, I'm back, and looks like, as you can tell, I made a little bit more progress here on the cabinet. And this is the specs of a dig dug cabinet. I have an existing cabinet downstairs, dig dug, and I took the measurements and everything off the side of the dig dug. Now, from my first video, you've seen that I had everything all measured and cut. And since then, I've made some improvements to those cuts. One being the vents. I've added the vents. The door has been cut out. The vent has been added for the top piece there, as well as my control panel is coming along, and the base. Now, these pieces, let me go over what these pieces are. As I just mentioned, the control panel. All right, you can see I have my player 1, player 2 joystick, 3 fire buttons and the trackball, which I have to cut out. Although I think I may have to order another trackball because the one I have is in a square case. In order to make it surfaced enough, I would have to cut out the backside of the board in a square here, and that's, you know, just too much work, especially when you don't have the right tools other than like a chisel or something. Also on the control panel here, you can see I put my L brackets in, and you know, of course, because this is not a 90-degree square angle here, I had to bend those brackets a little bit just to fit. I have my LED light there. I'm going to mount in the top of the cabinet. Okay. And then this is the base. The base, of course, I put casters on them. And it rolls pretty good, and they're pretty sturdy, so hopefully by the time I put everything all together, it's able to support the weight. But I'm not going to paint that part. It's just a, you know, standard bottom piece here. Then I have the back piece. This is the back door. As I said, it's vented. And then if you notice, the hinge is on the outside of the door. Now, of course, you're probably asking yourself, so why you put the hinge on the outside of the door? Well, I'm going to tell you right now. I put the hinge on the outside of the door because if you can see that big gap in the top, well, I kind of went crooked with the cut. So instead of, you know, wasting this piece of wood and just cutting a new piece out, I decided just to put the hinge on the outside to cover up the nasty cut that I made. Have my key inside. It actually works pretty good. You know, everything works. Then I have my shelf. This is the shelf that I'm going to use to support my monitor. Of course, I have to paint that piece there. That small piece of trim goes on the top part. You can see that slant on the front top of the side panel. That's where that piece goes. That piece there is a shelf, which I'm going to paint. That's where my speakers and everything will be maintained. Probably end up cutting a couple of holes in that just to make sure that the sound is nice and clear coming out. Alright, then I have my front panel. That's the front. It's all painted. More likely I'll probably go over everything once I get the first initial coating on here, because this is a gloss paint, so I want to make sure it's nice glossy before I put my clear coat on it. Then I have my top, which is vented. This is the left side panel. Alright, everything is cut to specs. And my very last video upon completion here, what I'm going to do is just take all my measurements and everything that I have of everything, and you know, post them out as well. All right, and that's the right side panel. Of course, I still have to paint that. Now, the cool thing about all this is how I braced it. I braced it all with the support beams. So let's just lift up the front piece here. If you can see here, has, you know, a 2x4 which I, you know, cut and just mount it to the back of this. So what that does for me is allow me to take my side pieces and screw them into the side of that support beam. You know, it gives it a little more stability, makes it a little bit stronger. So hopefully everything turns out okay once I get it all put together. And then lastly here I have my plexiglass, which will be for the front display. I have a 21-inch monitor that I'm going to put inside the cabinet, and the whole width of this cabinet is like 23.5 inches. But again, I'll get those measurements out there in my last video. Other than that, I have some minor items, waiting for my T-molding to come in, my illuminated buttons, which should be pretty cool. And that all should be arriving Thursday. It's taken Amazon quite a long time to send this delivery for some reason. So I had to, go into tracking and, make a couple of phone calls and say, hey, where's my stuff? So once I get all that, I'll put my buttons in my control panel. I have my joystick and trackball. The only thing about the trackball is, I don't know if I explained this already, is that the trackball, because this wood is so thick here, the trackball doesn't come all the way to the surface enough. So what I would have to do is cut a square in the back of this panel here, and big enough to fit the box of the trackball itself, just to raise it up. Other than that, that's pretty much it. And if you have any questions about anything, by all means, let me know. All right, thanks. Have a good one. Okay, well, I'm back. And this video, or the last video, you seen that I was spray painting everything in my garage. However, to make this easier on myself, what I did was I just bought all the pieces downstairs, separate, and then I decided to put it together here in my basement. So as you can see, I put the cabinet together, have the door finished. I added in a light switch. I don't know if you can see that. And then I painted that as well. I have it plugged in now, so the light switch is working. But I've also added my T-molding on the front of the cabinet. So you see the T-molding has been added, as well as the light in the top. So I added the light in as well. And in the back, you can see that I put a surge protector in the back there, as well as the back of the light switch, so all the wiring that goes to it. And what I did was, with the surge protector, I just got a cheap surge protector and a piece of wire there, and wired it myself. So I bypassed the actual on and off button of the surge protector itself and wired it directly to the contacts inside of the surge protector. Once I did that, of course, I wired it to my light switch, which in turn, the black cord which comes out, it goes all the way down and through the bottom of the floor there. I wired that, and out it goes to the outlet. And if I flick on the switch here, you notice it works. I don't want to hit a spot on there, but the light is on. So this surge protector will support the monitor and the power supply, which I have for the JAMA card itself. But it's coming along. The last steps of the video, of course, will be to put in the board, which I have there. That's for my monitor. I'm going to mount my monitor on that. And then I also have my speaker shelf, which I'm going to mount in here as well. But that's it. It's turning out pretty good. But I will post these on YouTube. And if you have any questions or comments about anything, by all means, just leave me a comment on the YouTube post. And my last video will be the measurements of everything. And like I said, that's from my existing cabinet, so the measurements will coincide to a dig dug cabinet, and they will be posted on YouTube. All right, thanks, and have a great day.